I'm 20, so it means I have had a first job before. It was horrible. Just jumping straight into it. I hated it. Like every time I had to go to work, I hated it. Like I hate my job now, but that's just because it's very manual labor based and I'm tired all of the time. This job was just fuck. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a job right now and it's good because I work with me ma. And the only reason I have to work with my ma is because my first job traumatized me so much that I have to, and I get PTSD every time I think about it. It got to a point where for the whole of 2017, every time I would go near a job site I would have a panic attack because I kept having PTSD about thinking about my first job. So let's talk about some stories that happened when I was there. The first thing I noticed when I joined was there was a lot of training. There was a lot of online training and there was about, I want to say 30 hours, but I also want to say 300 and I'm not sure, so I'll ask someone I know who still works there because I don't want to get sued. I don't want people to find out where it is and then being like, is it this place? And then them suing me for slander because like, fuck, this place could get shut down with my tea. Because I'd so recently done all the training, I noticed every health and safety hazard there was, and there were a lot. Kitchen, water all over the floor. Like fucking hell, the amount of times I almost slipped in that was horrendous. The amount of times like a glass got broken and there was like glass places, it was like, ugh. There wasn't like glass everywhere, but there was water everywhere in the kitchen. That's the main thing I remember. That's all, folks. They didn't train me like at all. The only training they ever gave me was the online training and having someone show me like what a commie was to do when you first joined. A commie is someone who like cleans tables and stuff. It's kind of like a busboy you hear about a lot. They clean tables, they bring dishes to the kitchen and stuff like that. And that's all they ever taught me how to do. The only training I got for the tills was from the online training, and even then it didn't make any sense to me. Like I would need someone to physically show me what was going on. And there were points where people would try and order off me and I would be like, I would have someone else come over and do it because I hadn't been taught. I don't even have a notebook to take your order. I don't know how to put it into the system and I don't know who your waitress is, so why are you trying to order of me? The things I hated in that restaurant was no one understood that not everyone is a waitress. Some people just run food, some people just clean up. I was not a waitress, so I could not take orders. It's as simple as try and order drinks off me. I have no idea what you're trying to do. This was like in the first month I was there as well, so I was very panicky all the time. I avoided eye contact with everyone, and then when people did order food off me or drinks, I would spend half an hour chasing down their waitress so I could tell them what they wanted just so they could put it in the system. It was so stupid. But it's such a toxic environment as well. Like, I know people who still work there and I feel sorry for them. For me, whenever they would ask, hey, can you come in this day or something, I would always say no, because I always put college before everything. Plus I don't like working, so I would not take extra shifts. Eventually, when I did need more money and stuff, and I'd be like, I only work this number of hours because they won't offer me anymore because I keep saying no. But you have other people who say yes all the time and they're abusing that. They're making that person work more than their contract is for that week. For those of you who don't have a job and have never had a job, what I used to be on was a 20-hour contract. So every week I have to work 20 hours and I would work like 5 hours a day, so that would be 4 days a week or something. And I would have like a day off or something in between, or I would work 3 days then have a day off. It depended because my shifts are so... In this place I only worked 4 hours a week. I'm glad I did. I would have had a bigger breakdown if I worked more than that. But for someone who keeps saying yes to more shifts because they need the money, they could feasibly have someone on a 12-hour contract or something. Wait, what's 8-hour contract? They could have someone on an 8-hour contract, which would be 4 hours a day, which would be Saturday and Sunday, and then force them to work 12 hours or 16 hours a week, and then but that's not part of their contract, and then they keep doing that even though they haven't signed a contract that says that. So it was a bit dodgy. It's so toxic. Fucking hell. Everyone, like, when someone gets promoted to a manager, that person immediately becomes a bitch. Like, they become such an asshole. It's unreal. Like, I genuinely don't understand it. Like, if you go to my job where I work now and someone gets promoted to a manager, they're not a dickhead to you. They treat you like a person. But if you go there, they treat you like you're a lowlife. It's honestly so bad. It is because it's such a stressful environment, and that's one of the reasons I quit, because it was too stressful. And it does make everyone assholes, basically. Mainly the management team. That's why so many of the managers have left or stepped down. That's why so many people won't become managers, because they don't want to become assholes. I was terrified to go into work every day. It was so bad. Going back to the not training me part, I remember there was this time when I was put on dispense, which is basically drinks and stuff. You pour like Coke or I don't know, whatever you want. And they put me on dispense, and then I was kind of staring at her when she was telling me about it, and she was like, "Have you not been trained to do this?" And I was like, "No." Okay, you're coming and this person's going on dispense. It was like that all the time. They promoted me to a food runner and I had not been trained at all. Like, they would do these times when they would change the menu, but I didn't like anything they eat because I am such a picky eater. It's unreal. So I'd never taste anything, and I never knew what was what, because again, I was fairly new. I only ever worked there for 4 months, so I was still really new to everything I was doing. And they put me on food running, but they wouldn't tell me what was on the plate. So I would have the table number, and I'd spend so long looking for the table. When I got there, I would have no idea what was on the plate, and I'd be like, "Do you know what this is?" I would say that to the customer because I had no idea, because no one fucking told me what was on the plate. Like, I remember specifically once, my manager handed me a plate and said, "Go run that to that table," and I was like, "What's on it?" Like, honestly, I have no idea what this is. How am I meant to go up to that table and go, who has this? Who has it? This is what I used to do. It was bad. Oh my god, it's such a horrible place to work. Like, I hated it. It gave me so much PTSD. Like, jobs, like, I'm afraid to get a different job than my current job, like a proper professional, like, art one or photography one, because I'm so afraid of that environment happening again. I don't want to be in that environment again. Another thing was, every guy that worked there was gay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. But out of, I want to say 20 men in there, they were all gay. I was like, one that wasn't. And it's honestly weird. Like, at my current job, I don't think any of the boys are. I'm not actually sure. I haven't looked that much into it, but like, it was just weird. It was just a fun fact that like everyone there was. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're gay, that's fine. Okay, it's fine. I still respect you as a person. I'm just saying, it was really random that there were like 20 of them in one place. Another fun thing that happened that makes me want to die was I spilled mustard and mayonnaise all down my front one time when I was getting sauces for someone. You don't understand the level of picky eater I am. I cannot wash other people's dishes because if I even smell other people's food, it makes me gag. I can't be near someone else when they're eating a food that I don't like because I will not eat for the next 2 hours until the smell's gone. That's the level of picky I am. My mum has salad cream on something and she's eating it next to me. I have my dinner in front of me. I will not touch that until that smell is gone, until she's finished eating, because it will make me throw up. I can't wash dishes without gloves on, because if I touch soggy food, I will throw up. It's such a problem. So imagine having 2 of the sauces that you hate the most poured down your front, and it's gungy and it smells. I wanted to vomit. It was horrible. One of the fun things that did happen was I met my childhood friend who I used to live next door to, and he worked there, and then we both kind of noticed each other. We were like, I know you. One thing that did give me my breakdown though, and the reason I did quit, was because I used to wear boots, I'll show like a picture, and leggings to work, because leggings are just most comfortable for me because I have really bad problems with my body, and jeans just don't fit me, or trousers. And I wore the boots because my ankles, because it was so much walking, like my ankles needed that support. So I was walking up the stairs one day and my manager kind of called after me, and she was like, what are you wearing? This is 4 months later, by the way. I'd already been working there for 4 months. She goes, what are you wearing? It's disgusting. Like in front of the whole restaurant. I was on the stairs in front of the whole restaurant. She was like, those shoes are disgusting. Wear some proper trousers and get some proper shoes. And I explained to her, like, I do have a problem with my ankles and stuff, and she's like, I don't care, they're disgusting, get some new shoes. And I don't like being told off, and when people shout at me in public, that makes things like severely worse. So I ended up crying in front of one of my co-workers, and then I had to hide in the stairwell and cry whilst my friend comforted me. I'm not going to mention who still works there because I don't want them to get in trouble. And then this manager came to find me a while later, and she was shouting at me. She was like, how dare you leave and not tell anyone where you went? And I was like, bitch, I told the person I started crying in front of that I needed to go cry. They were meant to find you. I'm sorry. And then she just sent me home that day because, okay, I hated that woman from the beginning because she was such a bitch, but everyone was like, oh, it was just, she was just trying to tell you that your uniform was alright. And I was just like, that's not the point. She did it in front of like our whole restaurant. Like, that's why I had the breakdown, not because she shouted at me and told me my clothes were disgusting, which hurt a bit. Like, fuck you too. But overall, my first job was shit. Finishing the video down here because my camera battery died again. So, overall, my first job was shit. And I think everyone's first job is shit. But, considering this was such a high stress environment restaurant, and because it's near the airport, everyone goes there, and it's next to a hotel, so it's directly connected to that hotel, it made it worse, basically. And there would be times where they would bring me in on an afternoon, or they brought me in early for some shifts, and there was nothing to do. Like, seriously, I had no training how to do anything other than clean up after people, and people hadn't finished. And then they would complain if I stood there talking. They'd be like, you need to find something to do, and I'm like, I can't. There's like physically nothing I can do if I haven't been trained to do it. Don't even get me started about when they brought me in on Mother's Day. Mother's Day was horrible. Oh my god. The amount of people that take their mums out for dinner on Mother's Day is horrendous. Like, Jesus. Don't go to a very busy restaurant on Mother's Day because you will not get your food. Oh, I forgot to mention this one story. One time I was working, and this is important to the story. I'm not being racist or anything, okay? But there was a family of black people, obviously. They came and they were having, like, they ordered their food and everything. And apparently they hadn't been served their food in like an hour. I only know this because I was cleaning the table next to them when they were arguing with the manager. And the thing I remember the most is them looking at the manager and going, are we not being served because we're black? And I'm just like, like I'm over here, they're like over here, I'm like over here on this table trying not to laugh, and I'm just like it's so horrible when people do that and they use their race like that. I had someone do it at my recent work and they were like, are you doing it because I'm Asian? And we just kind of looked at him and went, no, don't do that, that's wrong, you shouldn't use racism like that. But that was just a funny story I remembered quickly. But yeah, my first job sucked. Everyone's first job sucks. They don't treat you right. You really do have to find a place where there are good people there. Where I work now, there are good people. There are good people who work there, they were just arseholes to me. Especially because I was so awkward and couldn't really talk to people, they were more mean because everyone there was like an extreme extrovert, and then there was only like 2 of us who were introverts that didn't like talking to people, so they would kind of make fun of us and stuff for that, so that wasn't fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and share with your friends. We're currently on 292 subscribers, so if you could subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe and stuff, that would be great. I'm just gonna twirl my hair. Yeah, join the Discord, follow my social medias for stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Q&A time! I want to do a Q&A so you guys can get to know me better, so leave your questions in the comments or go ask me on my social media. All the links are in the description. We talk about doing this video for a while, so I figure if I just announce it and then I give you a few days to give me some questions, then I'll have enough questions to make a good video about it. I'll post a like mini video as well, being like, I need your questions. So if you see that, that's not the Q&A, that's me asking for questions. So if you have any questions, ask me them and I will try and answer them all. Okay, bye.